pagbati na may ngiti sa aking mga labi. Naghahanap ba kayo ng makakatuwang sa pagre-review ng inyong anak? Meron yan sa DepEd. Ang ETUlay online tutorial ay libre at handog ng ating kagawaran sa pangunguna ng OUA ICTS EdTech. Ito ay isang proyektong makatutulong sa mga mag-aaral, katuwang ang mga magulang o kasama sa kani-kanilang tahanan para masagutan at maunawaan ang mga modules. Hangad din ng programang ETUlay ang matulungan ang ating mga guro sa kanilang mga blended learning classes. Ang ating ETUlay ay mula kinder hanggang senior high school. Bukod sa academics, meron din tayong mga special programs gaya ng All is Wellness, Reading and Math Remediation, Storytelling, Mommy Tech Talks, Classes sa Gramatika, Speech Class, Financial Literacy, at marami pang iba. Pinalawig din ng ETUlay ang ating Alive program para sa mga mag-aaral mula grade 1 hanggang grade 3. Gayon din ay mayroon tayong ALS program at SPED tutorials na makasisigurong makakamit ng lahat ang inclusive education. May SPED hotline na rin para sa inyong mga katanungan patungkol sa special education. Kaya, subaybayan mula Lunes hanggang Biyernes, mula 9:00 ng umaga hanggang 7:00 ng gabi ang ating ETUlay. Sa ating pagtutulungan, maiaangat natin ang bawat isa. Ating itutulay ang pagkatuto upang di mapigil ang pag-aaral ng kabataang Pilipino. Itulay natin ito, sulong edukalidad.
Mabuhay! Good day to all! I am your tutor Madge. Welcome to ETUlay, a free online tutorial, an initiative of the Department of Education, Information and Communications Technology Service, Educational Technology Unit, ICTS EdTech. This program is aimed at helping and assisting learners from kindergarten, senior high school, ALS, Alive, and SPED learners. Aside from answering the modules, the ETUlay is offering programs which you will surely look forward to. Together with our parents and teachers, the ETUlay will bridge the gaps where difficulty and ease meet in learning new knowledge and skills. So, let us prepare our module, pen and paper. Ready your mind to see and hear worthwhile and interesting lessons. Let us now study and learn, together with our volunteer online tutors. Tara na!
Okay, ayan. So, ayan, good afternoon, everybody. Ayan, magandang hapon sa inyong lahat at welcome ulit at sa ating DepEd ETUlay online tutorial for grade 6 mathematics. Again, it's Friday. Fun Friday ulit tayo. So, ibig sabihin, pag Friday, alam nyo na, Mathematics Day po yan. Ayan. So, muli, ako po ang inyong mga kasama ngayong hapong ito. Ako po ang inyong Math Bay, si Tutor Andre. So, kasama ko rin si Tutor Prince. And again, nasa likod ng camera, ika nga, si Tutor Prince. No? Pero kahit paano ay kasama pa rin natin siya ngayon. Okay, so bago muna tayo magsimula, ay hayaan nyo munang simulan natin ito sa pagbati sa ating mga manonood. Ayan, so of course, yung ating mga soulmates, lagi itong nanonood every Friday sa ating live session. So, ito muna si Angelic Marie Salazar. Good afternoon po, watching from Marilao Central Integrated School, Marilao North District, Marilao, Bulacan. Ayan, good afternoon, Angelic Marie. Si Eliza Jane Atrihino. Good afternoon po, Eliza Jane Atrihino, grade 6 pupil, watching from Malasin Elementary School, SDO City of Ilagan, Isabela, Region 2. Advisor si Ma'am Joanne M. Darbin. Ayan, good afternoon to you, anak. And also, good afternoon si Kimberly King. Good afternoon po, watching from Marilao Central Integrated School, Marilao North District, Marilao, Bulacan. Advisor si Ma'am Ranzel Nasukag. Ayan. So, sino-sino pa ba? Ayan, marami tayong mga manonood. Si Princess Yana Taglokop. Good afternoon, watching from Marilao Central Integrated School, Marilao North District, Marilao, Bulacan. Ayun. So, ayan. Si Trisha Lorraine Paguyo. Happy learning, everyone. Kanyang advisor si Ma'am Sani B. Rarama, principal si Sir Rodelio D. Ganyo, at nag-aaral siya sa San Pedro Villa Concepcion Elementary School, ayan, sa Rojas East District SDO Isabela. Ayan, good afternoon to you. Ayan, kay Trisha Lorraine Paguyo. And of course, huli na lang siguro to. Ayan, kay Roxy Lynn Adirolf. Ayan, good afternoon po. Grade 6 Sampaguita, watching from SDO Batangas, Taysan District Tilambo Elementary School. Wow, all the way from Batangas. Good afternoon to you, anak. Ayan, and sa lahat ulit ng mga manonood natin, sa ating mga grade 6 students and pati na rin sa ating teachers and sa lahat sa inyo, magandang hapon sa inyong lahat. Okay. So, again, muli nyo kaming abangan every Friday. Ayan, for Mathematics 6, 1 o'clock to 1:40 p.m. Via our Facebook and YouTube pages. Ayan, DepEd EdTech Unit, DepEd Tayo, DepEd Philippines, DepEd EdTech at DepEd TV. Maraming salamat po sa inyong lahat. Okay. So, bago mo natin simulan ng lesson, ay hayaan nyo munang i-acknowledge natin ang ating mga solvemates sa pagsagot ng assignment nung last week, no? So, ito sasama ko lang dahil ito ay nakalimutan nating banggitin nung last meeting. So, ang nadagdag sa duty of the week nung quarter 3 week 2 ay walang iba kundi si Zyrene Milka C. Ascendente. Ayan, ang ating soulmate noong quarter 3 week 2. And for our quarter 3 week 3 duties of the week, ito yung nagsagot ng mga ng assignment na pinagawa namin ni Tutor Prince last week. And tama ang kanilang mga sagot. Marami-rami ito so hopefully ay mabanggit natin silang lahat. Sino-sino nga ba yan? Sila ay sina Ian Gale R. Dilay. Ayan. Si John Vincent A. Gadi. Si Rihanna A. Abadir. Si Tristan Uriel M. Cruz. Henry Stephen P. Kadapan. Gerald R.V. D. Cantor. Gwyneth Angeline L. Tolentino. Nerwin P. Negal Jr. Enaj Erica J. Galang. Adrian Ray D. Rivera. Ivan Joseph Faelnar. Ariane May B. Zacarias. Jeremy Lynn A. Gauna. Maria Riana Mitisha T. Sempron. Gracie N. Kionisala. Lorraine Jewel M. Damitan. Si Zyrene Milka C. Ascendente. Si Jenbert B. Manese. Alia Judiel B. Javier. Alessandro B. Sandoval. Jeric Johan S. Ramirez. Kevin Martin J. Doluntap. And si Carl Yuan S. Marasigan. At ayan ang ating mga soulmates. Meron pa pala. Last si Fiona Irene U. Espina. Ayan. So, congratulations sa ating mga soulmates. So, marami-rami na tayo ngayon. So, sana sa mga susunod pa natin mga sessions ay mas dumami pa tayo lalo para the more the merrier. Ika nga. Ayan. So, to start off our lesson for Mathematics 6, this is quarter 3 week 4 and that is about representing quantities in real-life situations and solving routine and non-routine problems using algebraic equations and expressions. Ayan. So, muli nagpapasalamat po tayo sa ating division office for lending us the module that will be used for our live session for today. Ayan po. So, maraming salamat po sa inyo mga ma'am and sir. Okay po. Ayan. So what are the objectives of this lesson? So after this session, you're expected to represent quantities in real-life situations using algebraic expressions and equations. Second, you're going to solve routine and non-routine problems involving different types of numerical equations such as 7 plus 9 equals blank plus 6. Okay, sige. So let's have our first lesson, which is representing quantities in real-life situations using algebraic expressions and equations. Okay. So paano nga ba tayo magre-represent ng quantities in real-life situations using algebraic expressions and equations? So yan yung kailangan ninyong malaman ngayon na. Okay, so let's have a quick recall muna. So for all students who are watching right now, so kindly type your answers in our chat box. So let's have a quick recall. So fill in the blanks with a word or words that correctly complete or completes the following statements. Choose from the word or words inside the box. Ayan. Okay, so yan po yung ating mga statements. So quick recap lang tayo. So the choices are algebraic expression. Number 2, we have constant, numerical expression, variable, and equation. Okay. So may nagsasagot na. So number 1 daw, equation. Tama nga ba yan? That is correct. Ayan, equation. Equation is a mathematical statement indicating that two algebraic expressions are equal. And of course, it uses the symbol equal sign. Very good. Ayan, ang gagaling ng ating mga kids. Sige. So number 1 equation. How about the other items? How about number 2? Okay, puro nakikita ko muna equation. How about number 2? Blank is an expression that combines numbers and one or more operation symbols. Ayan, may sumagot na. So sabi ni Henry Stephen Kadapan and ni Tristan Uriel Cruz, numerical expression. So mga sumunod na, hindi nasagot nila. Tama nga ba yun? Yes, tama. Very good. So numerical expression. So numerical expression, it is an expression that combines numbers and one or more operation symbols. Next, number 3. Madali na ito number 3. Ayan, may sumagot na si Nerwin Negal. Sabi niya, number 3 ay variable. Tama nga ba yung variable? Yes, tama. That's correct. So variable is any letter or symbol that represents a number. Very good. Okay. Gagaling ng ating mga kids, ha? Let's have number 4. So dalawa na lang pagpipilian, either constant or algebraic expression. Ayan, may sumagot na. Inuna nila ang number 5, which is algebraic expression. Ayan, ang nauna ay si Henry Stephen, sinundan ni Gwyneth. Then for number 4, si Roxylene Adirolf. Ang sabi niya, number 4 is constant. Tama nga ba yun? And the correct answer for number 4 is constant. Ayan. So when it's a constant, it is a number or a fixed value that does not change. Kaya ang constant, sa Tagalog, walang pagbabago o hindi mababago, no? And for number 5, dahil yun na rin natitirang option, so we have algebraic expression. So algebraic expression is a mathematical phrase that uses variables, numerals, and operation symbols. So ang gagaling ng ating mga grade 6 students, at least naalala pa nila ang mga terms involving algebraic expressions and algebraic equations. Okay, so let's have our problem below. Ayan. So kindly read and understand. Ayan. So as you can see, you have the problem there. So let's now try to represent the given problem with the quantities involving algebraic expressions and equations. So the problem is, Glenn is a newly hired messenger in a multinational company in Makati. As trainee, he needs to wear a polo shirt every day. He was given a clothing allowance of 6,000 pesos. Wow. Sana all may ganyang clothing allowance. Lahat naman po. Ayan. How many polo shirts can he buy with this amount? Okay, so let's see. Paano nga ba natin isosolve yung ganyang problem? Ayan. So, by the way, aside from that, ito pa yung susunod na given natin. So, let's have here the table. So, as you can see, we have a table there. So, study the table of prices for typical brands of polo shirts. So, as you can see, we have 5 brands, namely brand A, brand B, brand C, brand D, and brand E. And for each brand, we have the price per polo shirt. So for brand A, we have 500 pesos. For brand B, we have 400 pesos. For brand C, we have 250 pesos. Brand D is 300 pesos. And brand E is 600 pesos. So let us find out, dear students. So magkano nga ba ang or ilan nga bang shirts ang mabibili for each brand? So we are going to apply, of course, the concept of division. So in our case, to represent the numerical expression for brand A, we have 6,000 divided by 500. Okay, so 6,000 divided by 500. And of course, the number of shirts, if you divide 6,000 by 500, so that is equivalent to 12. Okay, very good. So may mga sumasagot na. So brand A, 12 polo shirts. Of course, for brand B, we have 400 pesos. So brand B, that is 6,000 divided by 400. So 6,000 divided by 400 is, ayan, may sumagot. Very good, si Nerwin. 15 polo shirts. So tama. Okay, next for brand C, brand C is 250 pesos. So that means that is 6,000 divided by 250 and that results to, ayan, so naghanap ako ng mga sumasagot. Ayan, very good si Tristan. Sabi niya 24. The correct answer is 24. Ayan, very good. Ang gagaling ng ating mga grade 6 students, no? So same thing with letter or brand D rather. So for brand D, we have 6,000 divided by 300. That results to, or that is equivalent to 20. So we have 20 shirts for brand D. And for brand E, we have 600 pesos. So that is 6,000 divided by 600. And of course, if you divide that, so the answer to that is, ayan, may sumagot na ba ng brand E? Ayun, si Phil Sebastian Sardido, ang sagot niya ay 10 polo shirts. Okay, very good. So therefore, we have the following table there showing the brand or the brands of the shirt, and then the price per polo shirt, then the numerical expression, and the number of shirts. Now, the question is, ayan, so the answer to the question depends on the brand of clothes Glenn will buy, okay? So the third column gives the numerical expression for each brand for the number of shirts that he can buy with the money he has. So from that, magpo-form na tayo ng equation. And how do we do that? So again, our constant is 6,000 pesos. So kahit kailan di naman nagbago yung ating clothing allowance, no? So si Glenn I mean 6,000 pesos. So if you do not know the price of a polo shirt, then we can use variables to stand for a price. So how do we do that, my dear students? So we can write an algebraic expression and equation for the number of shirts. So sisimulan muna natin. Ayan. So to represent the price of each brand of shirt, we make use of variables and write an algebraic expression to represent the number of shirts that Glenn can buy for 6,000 pesos. So gagamit tayo ngayon ng variables para makapagsulat tayo ng algebraic expression. So to do that, ayan. So as you can see, we have let P, or let the variables P, Q, R, S, T, S, and T be the number of each brand. So for variable P, we have the number of brand A shirts. For Q, we have the number of brand B shirts. For R, we have the number of brand C shirts. For S, we have the number of brand D shirts. And for T, we have the number of brand E shirts. So when we represent each variable or by each brand using algebraic expressions, so for the first brand, brand A, we have 6,000 pesos divided by P. Similarly, for brand B, we have 6,000 pesos divided by Q. For brand C, we have 6,000 pesos divided by R. For brand D, we have 6,000 pesos divided by S. And for brand E, we have 6,000 pesos divided by T. Okay, so from that, the equation, so we have already the algebraic expressions as shown on your screens right now, no? So this time, let's get the equation. So the equation to get the exact amount of polo shirts per brand are listed in the third column. So mamaya-maya papakita natin yan. So the variable in each algebraic expressions, algebraic equation rather, represents the number of shirts per brand. Yun na nga yung sinasabi ko kanina, no? Ayan, yung P, Q, R, S, and T. Okay. So for the first one, again, we have 6,000 pesos divided by 500 pesos equals P. Ayan. So we need to determine the number of shirts. So we have, of course, just like what we did earlier. So 6,000 divided by 500 is equivalent to 12. So P equals 12. Then similarly, we have for brand B, 6,000 pesos divided by 400 pesos. That's equivalent to Q. So therefore, Q equals 15. Then for brand C, we have 6,000 pesos divided by 250 pesos. That's equivalent to R. And therefore, from that, R is 24. For brand D, we have 6,000 pesos divided by 300 pesos. So that's equivalent to S. And from that, we have S equals 20. And lastly, for brand E, we have 6,000 pesos divided by 600 pesos. So that is T equals 10. So therefore, we have already represented the given brands using algebraic expressions and algebraic equations. So yan po yung mga nakuha nating mga sagot. Okay, so hopefully ay naintindihan niyo kung paano magsulat ng algebraic equations and algebraic expressions. Kasi gagamitin natin yan sa pagsosolve ng word problems later on. Okay? Sige, tingnan pa natin. So the number of shirts Glenn can buy using his 6,000 pesos clothing allowance depends on the brand he prefers. So depende kung ilan ang mabibili niya kada sa kung anong brand ng t-shirt ang gusto niya. So gusto niya ng, let's say, marami-raming t-shirt, pwede siyang bumili ng brand C kasi we have 24 shirts kasi mura lang yung price per polo shirt. Or kung gusto niya ng medyo mamahalin para kahit pa paano tumagal-tagal yung pagsusot niya ng polo shirt, then he may choose brand E kasi medyo mahal or mahal siya pero matibay naman. May mga ganun naman. So depende kung anong brand yung pipiliin ni Glenn. Okay, so something like that. Okay. So take note of this, grade 6. One of the most important skills in math that we have to acquire is the ability to translate verbal phrases or sentences to equations. So aside from the fact that this could be one of the easiest ways to get an accurate answer, it also shows a clean flow of solution which becomes understandable to many if properly presented. Ayan. So yun yung mga kailangan ninyong malaman. So gaya ng sinabi ko, kailangan ay marunong kayo mag-translate ng word problem into algebraic expressions and algebraic equations. Okay. So to represent quantities in real-life situations and to translate verbal phrases or sentences to algebraic equations, you have make sure that you have the mastery of translating phrases to algebraic expressions. That is very necessary. Okay, so yun yung sinasabi ko kanina. Ayan. So to write algebraic expressions in a real-life situation, you should do the following steps. So first, determine which quantity in these situations is unknown and identify a variable to represent the unknown quantity. So syempre, depende sa given problem. Pagkabasa ninyo ng problem and analyze the problem, make sure alam niyo kung ano yung missing or yung unknown nga, ika nga. Then once you know the unknown, you will be going to represent that using a variable or variables if there are two or more. Then you will write the expression using a variable to represent the situation. Then here's the thing, you will look for keywords in figuring out what mathematical operations to be used. So syempre, nandun pa rin yung mga keywords natin, yung mga keywords natin para alam natin kung anong operation nga ba yung gagamitin natin in order to solve the problem. Okay, sige. So let's have here an exercise muna. So I have their exercise. So you are given the variables, represent the unknown quantities, and write an equivalent algebraic expression or equation for the following statements. Again, you may use the chat box in order to answer the following. So again, you are going to write the given phrases or statements using algebraic expressions or algebraic equation. Ayan. So for number 1, you have 7 subtracted from k eggs. Take note, 7 subtracted from k eggs. Number 2, m is increased, or M increased rather, M increased by 10 candies is 40 candies. Then number 3, 9 less than W passengers. 9 less than W passengers. And for number 4, half of K kilograms is 70 kilograms. Okay, let us find out. So may mga nakita na akong sagot. So ang una, so nakita ko si Nerwin, si Tristan, si Kimberly Kim, Jeric, Johan, Kevin Martin. Yan. So K minus 7. That is correct. So K minus 7. Very good. So yung 7, ibabawas mo dun sa number of eggs, which is K. So that's K minus 7. Okay, very good. So let's have number 2. M increased by 10 candies is 40 candies. So that is an algebraic equation. So ayan, nakita ko. So number 2, si Nerwin, sagot niya ay M plus 10 equals 40. Same thing with Roxylene, Jeric, Johan. Ayan, that's correct. M plus 10 equals 40. Very good. Okay, next, number 3. 9 less than W passengers. So 9 less than W passengers. So ano kaya sagot sa number 3? Ayan, so as you can see, or as I can see rather, nakikita ko, nagsagot si Tristan Uriel. Sabi niya W minus 9. Same thing with Adrian Ray and Nerwin. So W minus 9. So that is correct. So if you remember, since you have the word less than, kung inyong matatandaan yung last session natin, so when we talk of the word less than, so yung first expression or first number, that will be the second uh, expression, or in the subtrahend, kumbaga, siya yung subtrahend. And yung second expression, that will be your minuend. So that will be W minus 9. And lastly, number 4, half of K kilograms is 70 kilograms. So what's the answer? So the answer is, ayan, nakita ko may mga sumasagot na, napaka dami na. So si Kevin Martin, sabi niya K over 2 equals 70. Okay, yes. Si Roxylene, ganun din, K over 2 over 70, equals 70 rather, K over 2 equals 70. So marami-rami na nagsasagot, no? So tama, K over 2 equals 70. Or kung ayaw nyo ng K over 2, you may have also 1 half K equals 70. They are also the same, no? So we have K over 2 equals 70, or 1 half K equals 70. Very good, kids. Ang gagaling talaga ng grade 6 students natin. Talagang marunong na mag-solve ng word problems. Let's have this next exercise. This time, you're now going to read and answer the following problems. So let's have the following problems there. So for number 1, the problem is Raymond has a weight of X kilograms. Express algebraically his weight after he gained 2.6 or 2 and 6/10 kilograms. That's for number 1. Then for number 2, Salome is Y years old now. Represent algebraically her age 5 years ago. Ayan. So take note of the following problems. Then for number 3, we have if thrice a number is increased by 11, the result is 112. Translate this to an algebraic equation. Ayan, so pagka-flash pa rin sa screen, may mga nagsasagot na, no? So number 1, so si Nerwin, Ivan, Host Joseph, JV Gadi, Roxylene, Ariane, Ivan Joseph, Kevin Martin. Sagot nila sa number 1 ay X plus 2.6. That is correct. Very good. So for number 1, we have X plus 2.6. Then for number 2, may mga sumagot na sa number 2. Bilis din si Roxylene Adirov, si Arian May, JV Gadi, Adrian, JV, Ian Gale. Ayan. So number 2 is Y minus 5. Wow. Tama naman ang sagot natin kasi we are referring to her age 5 years ago. So past pa, no? Nung nakaraang 5 years pa. So that is Y minus 5. So syempre, susubtract mo yung age mo sa 5 years. So that's Y minus 5. And lastly, for number 3, nakita ko may mga sumasagot na. Okay, you may have any variable there since wala naman nakalagay na variable. So you may use any letter for this. So tama ang sagot ng karamihan na nakikita ko. Very good. So that is 3n plus 11 equals 112. 12. So therefore, these are the answers for each problem. So very good. Ang gagaling ng ating mga kids. Ayan. So dahil marunong na kayo mag-translate ng given problem into algebraic expression and algebraic equations, I think we're now ready to do the next. And what's the next lesson? For number 2, ayan, magsusolve na tayo ngayon ng word problems. So we're now going to solve routine and non-routine problems involving different types of numerical expressions and equations such as 7 plus 9 equals blank plus 6. So, paano nga ba tayo magsusolve niyan? Yan ang kailangan natin malaman now na. Okay. So, look at the following problems. So, habang naka-flash sa screen, so kailangan yung basahin at intindihin yung given problem and verbal sentences below. Ayan. So, I'll be reading the problem. So, for number 1, a number increased by 5 is 12. What is the number? Number 1 yun a number increased by 5 is 12. What is the number? Number 2, the sum of two numbers is 8. If the first number is 3, what is the second number? That's for number 2. The sum of two numbers is 8. If the first number is 3, what is the second number? And for number 3, Shirley is 2 years older than Eda. The sum of their ages is 20. Find their present ages. Again, Shirley is 2 years older than Eda. The sum of their ages is 20. Find their present ages. Okay, so looking at the given problems, so make sure na nabasa nyo na at naintindihan nyo ng problem. So if we let X be the unknown number, how can these sentences be translated into mathematical equations? Then what will be the value of X? So that's what we are going to find out for our lesson for today. So we will be using the 4-step plan to solve the given word problems. So isa-isayin natin. So simulan muna natin sa number 1. So let's solve the first problem. So a number increased by 5 is 12. What is the number? So for step 1, we need to understand. So identify what is asked in the problem. So as you can see, it's already in the problem. So we are going to find the missing number. So from that, after we identify what is asked, the next is we identify what is or are the given information. So ano nga ba ang kinakailangan natin para masolve yung ating problem? So as you can see, we are given the numbers 5 and 12. Ayan, so we are given 5 and 12. So those are the given facts. Okay, so after we understand the problem, we go to step 2, which is planning. So we represent the data. So just like what I said a while ago, so we are now going to assign a variable to be able to answer the problem. So we will be doing the representation and how we're going to represent the given data. So that is, we let X be the missing number. Ayan. So, syempre, we do not know what number is missing based on the problem. So we have to assign or to represent a variable. So that is, we let X. Then after that, you will be writing the equation. So since in the given problem, we have there a number increased by 5 is 12. So we will be writing the equation based on the given problem or the given sentence. So we start with, ayan, so as you can see, I have underlined the words there. So we have first a number. So again, to represent a number, of course, we have X. Then you have increased by, you have the plus sign, and you have 5 there. And then the word is means equals, meaning that's the result. And then you have 12. So therefore, based on the given problem, to represent that as an equation, so that is X plus 5 equals 12. So very good. Kukuha nung iba. Nakikita ko na chat box, no? So you have X plus 5 equals 12. Then after that, step 3 is to solve the equation. So dito na tayo magsasolve ng value of X. So to do that, of course, we start with X plus 5 equals 12. So to be able to solve the equation, so we need to have X on one side of the equation. So how do we have x in the particularly in the left side of the equation. So to do that, we will be subtracting 5 from both sides of the equation. So para nga naman matanggal yung 5 dun sa left side ng equation. So from that, we subtract 5 from both sides of the equation. So we now have x plus 5 minus 5 equals 12 minus 5. So ito yung tinatawag din natin na subtraction property of equality, wherein if you subtract a certain number on the left side, then you will also subtract that same number on the right side. So kumbaga, para pantay or equal nga, kung anong ginawa mo sa left side, ganun din yung gagawin mo sa right side. So dahil nag-subtract ka ng 5 sa left side, we will also subtract 5 on the right side. So we now have to simplify, of course. 5 minus 5 is 0, and 12 minus 5 is 7. So we now simplify the both sides. And after that, of course, we can still simplify x plus 0. So x plus 0 is x. So therefore, we now have x equals 7. So from that, we have the final answer. So that is the number that we are looking for. So then after that, once you already know the answer, of course, the last step is to check. You will check the solution, whether it's correct. Of course, to check for the solution, you will just substitute or replace 7 for x in the given equation. So we have x plus 5 equals 12. Then from that, 7 plus 5 equals 12. And obviously, 7 plus 5 is equal to 12. So definitely, our answer is correct. So the missing number or the number that we're looking for is 7. Okay, so hopefully you'll get the correct answer. So nakikita ko naman sa chat box, nakuha naman nila ang tamang sagot. Very good. Okay, so let's go. Of course, ayan, bago tayo magano, so decide if the answer is reasonable. So obviously, it's reasonable naman, no? Okay, so let's now proceed to the second problem. So here, the second problem is the sum of two numbers is 8. If the first number is 3, what is the second number? So again, just like what we did earlier, so we follow the 4-step rule. First, we understand, identify what is or are asked in the problem. So as you can see, we are looking for the second number. So malinaw naman, no, na nakalagay sa problem. Then, once you know what is asked in the problem, second, identify what are the given facts. So based on the problem, as you can see, we have there 8 is the sum of the two numbers. So in the sum, ayan, nakalagay naman sa problem. And 3 is the first number. So that is why we are looking for the second number. So nakikita ko may mga sumasagot na, no? Ang gagaling talaga ng ating mga grade 6 students. So from that, we finish step 1. We go to step 2. We have plan. We will be representing the data. So again, since we are going to find the second number, so we will be having the representation by using a variable, and that will be let x be the second number. So x is unknown, sabi nga, no? And from that, we'll be writing an equation. So of course, as you can see in the problem, we have there the sum of two numbers is 8. So the first number is 3, and you're looking for the second number. So the second number is represented by x. So therefore, to write an equation, we will be having 3 plus x equals 8. So that will be your equation. So from that, after you write the equation, you have to solve the equation. That's step number 3. So to solve the equation, you will do this. Ayan. So you have 3 plus x equals 8. And just like what we did earlier, of course, since you have there 3, and we need to find the value of x, so to eliminate or to remove 3 in the left side of the equation, so you're going to subtract or decrease both sides of the equation by 3. Ayan. So as you can see, we have subtracted 3 on both sides of the equation. So you have 3 minus 3 plus x equals 8 minus 3. So from that, we will be simplifying both sides. So we have 3 minus 3 is 0. And then 8 minus 3 is 5. So therefore, we now have 0 plus x equals 5. And we simplify the left side. So we have 0 plus x. And 0 plus x is equal to x. So we now have x equals 5. So therefore, from that, we have already the final answer. And that's the answer to our second problem. X equals 5. Ayan, very good. And then, of course, the last step is to check whether our answer is correct. So again, we will be replacing or substituting 5 for x in the given equation. So we have 3 plus x equals 8. So replace x by 5. So we have 3 plus 5 equals 8. And of course, we all know that 3 plus 5 is equal to 8. So therefore, we have a true statement. 8 equals 8. So from that, we have already proven that our answer is correct. And again, decide if the answer is reasonable. So tama yung ating kasagutan. Okay, so sana naintindihan ng ating mga dear students. So far, so good. Okay, let's answer the last problem, the third problem. So this time we have an age problem here. So Shirley is 2 years older than Eda. The sum of their ages is 20. Find their present ages. So we're looking for Shirley and Eda's present ages. So again, you have to identify what is or asked in the problem. Of course, you're going to determine the ages of Shirley and Eda. And then from that, we have to apply the next step, which is we identify what are the given facts or the given information. So ano nga ba yung given natin? So as you can see, the given is Shirley is 2 years older than Eda. And if we get the sum of their ages, it should be equal to 20. So ano kaya ang ages ni na Shirley and Eda? So that's what we're going to find out. So from that, we will now proceed to step 2. So step 2 is plan. And to plan is to represent the data. So how do we represent the given data? So obviously, as you can see, Shirley is 2 years older than Eda. So based on the given problem, so malalaman natin ang edad ni Shirley kung alam natin muna yung edad ni Eda. So again, we need to find first Eda's age so that we may be able to find or identify also Shirley's age. So malalaman natin ang edad ni Shirley base muna sa edad ni Eda. So according to the problem, si Shirley daw ay 2 years older than Eda. So mas matanda ng 2 taon si Shirley kaysa kay Eda. So from that, to represent, we have let X be the age of Eda. So let X be the age of Eda. Kasi nga, gaya ng sabi ko, hindi natin malalaman ang edad ni Shirley kung hindi natin alam yung edad ni Eda. So dapat alam muna natin yung edad ni Eda. And since both ages are unknown, so we will be representing X first as the age of Eda or Eda's age. So from that, since X is the age of Eda, dyan na natin malalaman yung edad ni Shirley. So ano magiging edad ni Shirley? So Shirley is 2 years older than Eda. So from that statement, we will be having let X plus 2 be the age of Shirley. Kasi nadagdagan ng 2 taon yung edad ni Eda. So yung edad ni Shirley ay 2 taon na mas matanda kay Eda. So since X ang edad ni Eda, it follows that X plus 2 is the age of Shirley. So we have already the representation. So take note, we have there 2 expressions or 2 algebraic expressions. So from that, we will be forming the equation. That's letter B, write an equation. So from that, our equation will be X plus 2, which is the age of Shirley, plus the age of Eda, which is X. So we have X plus 2 plus X equals 20. So that is the equation. Okay, very good. Then from that, we will now solve the equation. So from that, we now solve the equation. So to solve the equation, we will be having this. So we have X plus 2 plus X equals 20. So as you can see, we will be solving for X. And to do that, we are going to simplify first the left side. How do we simplify the left side? So we will be combining like terms. So as you can see, we can combine X and X. So therefore, we will be having 2X x plus x is 2x. Just like 1 plus 1 equals 2. It's just that we have the variable x. So x plus x is 2x. So we now have 2x plus 2 equals 20. And to solve an equation, we have to isolate or separate the given variables from the constant. So hihiwalay natin ang variable sa constant. So dapat x ang matitira sa left side. So how do we apply the next step here? So from that, we will subtract or decrease 2 on both sides of the equation. So we now have 2x equals to 20 minus 2. So medyo sinotket ko lang, no? So again, we have subtracted 2 from both sides of the equation. And then from that, we now simplify the right side. So 20 minus 2 is 18. So we now have 2x equals 18. And then from that, since we are going to solve for x, so that's 2x equals 18. So 2x means 2 times x. And of course, you're going to think of a number wherein if you multiply by 2, the answer will be 18. So how do we do that? So to solve for x, we need to divide both sides by 2. So that is, we have x now will be equal to 18 divided by 2. So 18 divided by 2 is 9. So we now have x equals 9. Eh, ang tanong, ano ba yung 9? Or what is 9 there in the given equation? So if you recall, x represents Eda's age, right? So therefore, x equals 9, or simply 9 years old, will be Eda's age. So we will now determine the age of Shirley. So tapos na tayo kay Eda. So punta tayo sa age ni Shirley. So paano natin kukunin yung age ni Shirley? So since x equals 9 or 9 years old is the age of Eda, so to find Shirley's age, we have x plus 2, di ba? So x plus 2, so that is, papalitan mo yung x ng 9. So that will become 9 plus 2. So 9 plus 2 is equal to 11. So therefore, we now have 11, or x plus 2 equals 11, or simply 11 years old. So that will be the age of Shirley. So therefore, the correct answer to our problem is Eda is 9 years old and Shirley is 11 years old. Okay. So after that, we now have the last step, which is we check the solution. So to check the solution, we will have the following. So again, yung age ni Shirley is equal to age of Eda plus 2. So check natin kung tama. So age of Shirley is 11 and then age of Eda is 9. So we now have 11 equals 9 plus 2. As we all know, 9 plus 2 is equal to 11. So therefore, we have 11 equals 11, which is a true statement. Tama. And of course, we have age of Shirley plus age of Eda is equal to 20. So that's our another checking. So we have to add their ages. So 11 plus 9. So 11 yung edad ni Shirley. 9 yung edad ni Eda. So that's 11 years old plus 9 years old. The correct answer is 20. So we have 20 equals 20. We have, again, a true statement. And again, decide if the answer is reasonable. So that's how to solve routine and non-routine problems involving different types of numerical expressions and equations. Okay, so I think medyo overtime na ako sa ating lesson. So because we don't have time already, so supposed to be may isa pa ako exercise, but let's go now to our homework for today since it's already time, no, overtime na tayo. So for your homework, please use the hashtags hashtag Math6Q3 Week 4 and hashtag ETUlay Level Up. Make sure lamang, kids, na pag magpo-post po tayo, para lang din siguro madali namin makita ni Tutor Prince, mangyari lamang na paki-tag or paki-mention na rin kami, no, sa ating post, no, sa ating DepEd ETUlay FB page. So what you're going to do is to read and translate the following word problems into algebraic expression or algebraic equation, and then solve the following problems if possible. So we have the two problems. Number one, Some Moises has N marbles represent algebraically the number of marbles that Floyd has if he has 4 less than 5 times the number of marbles Sam Moises has. And lastly, number 2, Alfredo is 5 years older than John and Maria is 4 years younger than John. If the sum of their ages is 34, how old is John? So for number 2, I am just requiring you to find John's age. So that will be your homework for Math 6 Quarter 3 week number 4. And therefore, from that, that's the end of our lesson. So again, for your feedback, suggestions, recommendations, and the like, please do scan this QR code shown on your screens right now, or you may go to the website www.tinyurl.com/3Q stakeholders feedback. Maraming salamat po. And again, that's the end of my lesson. So thank you for listening and watching. So for comments or suggestions, please do email us at edtech@deped.gov.ph. Maraming salamat po. So up next is Tutor Rose Ann and Tutor Jolly for Mathematics 7. So kung may mga kamag-anak kayo, kakilala kayo na grade 7, pwede nyo mapanood ang session ni na Tutor Rose Ann and Tutor Jolly. So muli, maraming salamat po. So this has been your tutor, your math bay, Tutor Andre. So hope you learned something. Thank you very much for watching and listening. And see you all next week. So happy weekend and goodbye. Maraming salamat. Bye-bye.
Ang husay naman! Natapos mo ang iyong tutorial session kasama ang iyong mahusay na ETUlay tutor. May bago ka bang natutuhan? I-share na yan gamit ang hashtag #ETUlayLevelUp. Huwag aalis ha, dahil may susunod pang programa na pwede mo ring panoorin at salihan. Dahil naghihintay na ang iyong mga tutors. Happy learning dito sa ETUlay!